Hey, what's up? It's Breyonna. So today we're going to be testing out the brand new Morphe 9B Call Me Baby palette, and honestly, I feel like Morphe has been really upping their game with their 9-pan palettes lately. Like, this is like a plastic packaged palette, and you can like feel the texture of it. Like, it is so pretty. But I wanted to use this palette today because honestly, I'm kind of in a Valentine's Day mood. I know it isn't going to be for like almost a month, but I just kind of feel like doing something a little bit pink and fun today. And this palette is gonna be perfect for that. Like, this bright pink right here is just calling my name. Like, it is like Barbie pink. Now, when Morphe launched this palette, they also launched the 9Z Just Stay Zen palette, and this is a very unique one. Let me know if you'd like to see a review on it, because this color story is so unique and different. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it before. It kind of reminds me of like a whimsical, like ocean mermaid kind of vibe. But the first thing that we're gonna do is prime the eyes, and I'm just gonna use my ABH eye primer like usual. I kind of jacked up my one brow today, so hopefully you guys don't notice it's this one. Like, I just kind of like messed up this like edge of it. I think I fixed it, but again, like at the same time I keep on looking at myself and I'm like, kind of looks a little wonky. But sometimes, you know, when things just don't look right, you just have to kind of pull away, because otherwise you're just gonna get way too into it. And that is my toxic trait right there. Like, I will sit there and like try to mess with my brows or my liner for way too long, to the point then I'm not even enjoying doing the rest of my face. So sometimes I just have to pull back from it and just kind of take it as it is what it is. I don't know, today I just really want to sit down and play with makeup and do something a little bit different. So we're gonna kind of like switch it up, and the first shade we're gonna go in with is this deeper kind of like purpley plummy kind of shade, and this one's called Love Deeply. I'm just gonna be taking this shade though on this like little angled liner brush. And what I'm going to do is just look straight into the mirror, and I'm going to cut my crease. I'm doing like a winged out one as well. It doesn't need to be perfect at the moment. You just kind of want to get the color down. But again, like, that's a really pigmented shade right away. And I'm just going to go in with a little bit more. And when you're doing this, you want to look directly into a mirror, straight forward. You don't want to like tilt your head up or down like this, because otherwise it's going to look completely different when you start like living your life. And it also makes things look a lot more even too. Again, like, this shade's like really intense. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting like this kind of pigment. With this like little wing situation, I'm just going underneath my brow bone. You can kind of feel it if you like tap. You can like feel the little like dip that it has. And I'm just going right underneath of that and following that. Now, to blend this out and to get a little bit more color with this look, I'm gonna go in with this really bright pink, which I'm really excited for, and this one's called Heart to Heart. And I'm just gonna be taking this shade on this little shader brush from Colourpop. It's an E29, but you can see it's a little bit on the pinch side. And I'm just gonna be taking it the long way and going right on top of what we just did and slightly above. Ooh. This is really pigmented, but honestly, I feel like pink is like one of those shades that just kind of like overpowers everything, so I'm not really surprised. And also, Morphe does have really nice pinks. I'm just gonna go in with a little bit more. You see how like intense that is? And again, if it's looking a little chunky right now, it's no big deal, because we're gonna buff out the edge again here in a second. I'm just gonna go in with a little bit more of that Love Deeply shade on that brush that we applied it, and just reapply it. Because the pink kind of got rid of that intensity. And to buff this out even further, I'm just gonna go in with this like rosier pink matte shade, and this one's called Calm Cutie. And I'm gonna be taking this on a more like fluffy little shader brush. This one's a little bit bigger than that Colourpop one, and it's from the Morphe Madison Beer collection. And again, I'm just gonna pop it right on top of that hot pink and buff it up towards my brow. Now, this shade isn't as pigmented as the other two have been, from what I can see. But I'm just gonna go in with that second layer and build it up. Yeah, like, this one's a little bit more on the buildable side for the method that I'm doing. Now I'm just gonna take that brush I applied my eye primer with and go right underneath my brow again, just to make sure we got a nice smooth blend. And again, I'm not using any additional product either. I'm just going to go back in with that hot pink because I felt like I kind of lost it I'm just gonna go in with a little bit more of that Love Deeply shade again because I just want to make sure we have that richness next to that cut crease. But again, like these shades are blending out really nice. Especially this deeper matte. So for the lid, I really want to go in with this lighter pastel shade in the palette, and this one has a really weird name to it. It's called Om Sweet Om. Like, I don't know what they were getting with that. Like, that's just a really weird name. But it's kind of like one of those mattes that has shimmer in it. But I'm just going to be taking it on this little shader brush. Again, I'm applying it dry because it is a matte with shimmer. It's not just like a true shimmer. I do need to grab a little bit more. For some odd reason, this one's really just adhering to my eye primer. You can see it, like, it just like really like grabs onto it. But honestly, like after it's applied, I don't see the shimmer. So it must have just been added to help with the blending process. And I'm also just kind of like really like putting it everywhere underneath this like little wing that we made. Because honestly, I'm going to clean this up later. So if it gets any like farther down than I want it with the end look, I'm just going to clean it up right before I do my foundation. It's kind of a trick I like to do just to make sure like everything is looking good. But again, like this pastel is really nice. It is a little bit on the powdery side, but it's not like that chalky powdery that doesn't want to stick kind of formula. You can see it has a really nice amount of pigmentation to it. And it's a really fun color too, and I think it really pairs nice with the other colors that we have going on. And I was kind of afraid of this one too because I wasn't sure if it'd be like really chalky and like too white, where it looked a little bit weird, but I think this is like the perfect shade. You know, I want to try something. So we're going to go in with this shimmer called Peace Out right here in the center of the top row, and it's kind of like a peachy kind of shade. And I'm just going to go in with my finger. And let's see what happens. And I'm just going to pop it right here in the center of the lid. Ooh, it's actually really pretty. I am trying to like feather it out into the edges a little bit too. But I wanted just like a little bit more of like a wet sheen. Like don't get me wrong, like the matte's really pretty, but I just wanted a little bit of something something. I'm just gonna pop a little bit more in the center. Again, it's not like one of those like super like extra kind of shimmers. It's one of those like wearable wet sheen kind of vibes. Like it's definitely a very like soft kind of looking shimmer. But you can see it looks really pretty. It does not look chunky or funny on the lid. I just wish it was a little bit more glittery because that's kind of the type of shimmer that I personally prefer. And also, if you accidentally get either that lid shade that we used or this shimmer, you know, into this crease, what you do, you just go back in with that darker shade that we applied originally and just reapply it. Just take a little bit more on your brush and redo it. Bada bing, bada boom, it's already fixed. So I just applied the rest of my makeup off camera, but let's do the lower lash line. And I'm first just gonna go in with that Love Deeply shade on that brush that we applied it with, that darkest shade in the palette. And I'm getting it as close as I can to where my lashes grow out. Like I'm getting it all up in there. We're essentially just gonna do what we did in the crease underneath the eye. So I'm just gonna go in with that bright hot pink. And I'm just using the brushes that we used to apply them originally because I mean, why dirty more brushes than you have to? And honestly, you're just gonna buff it out even further using that rose shade. So for the inner corner highlight, I mean, you could use a shimmer, but honestly, I kind of want to do a matte one just for something different. So we're gonna go back in with that Om Sweet Om shade. And I'm just going to be applying this using a pencil brush. This one's from Profusion. It's an ES4. And I'm just packing it down. Ooh. Brought it down a little too far. I'm just gonna take my blush brush and kind of like kick it up. It's actually kind of like a vibe. I like this like little like light pink situation that's making like right here. That looks really cool. Again, for a pastel, it has a really nice formula. Again, it is a little bit on the dusty side, so it does have like a little bit of fallout to it, but it still is very pigmented. Honestly, I really like this palette. Is it the most revolutionary palette I've ever seen? No. Like, I have these colors already in other palettes. I have pink palettes with very similar vibes. But again, like for a $12 palette, I think it's really nice and really great quality. When I say it's not revolutionary, I mean like it's not like a new kind of formula that is just like so like different and out there like you need to try it. It's just like a nice standard formula that you can get some really cool looks with. And I honestly think that this palette is going to be perfect going into Valentine's Day season season as well as spring. And if you're somebody that is looking to try out hot pink and you don't know where to start and you don't want to invest a lot of money either, or if you're just looking for like a cute little Valentine's Day like palette for that kind of season that you're probably not going to reach for otherwise, I think this one is going to be a great one for you. Because again, like this palette has a really nice variety. There's a good amount of mattes and shimmers. Like you get deeper shades, you get like this really cool hot pink, you get some like rosy shades, as well as some like nice kind of like neutrals mixed in. I don't know, I just think that this palette is really nice and it has a really good tone variety to it. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this look, and also let me know if you'd like to see some Valentine's Day inspired looks. I don't know why, normally I'm not into Valentine's Day, but this year for some odd reason, like I'm just really into like the pinks and the purples and the reds, and whether that is like the grungy smoky Valentine's Day, like the breakup vibes, or like the super like cutesy looks, like I'm just all about it right now. Oh, and also let me know if you'd like to see a video on the 9Z Just Stay Zen palette, because again, I think this one's gonna be a very unique kind of vibe. But again, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. I almost dropped that palette. Oh, that would have been a mess. But if you haven't though, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram or TikTok, and again, it almost fell off my lap, it's at Breyonna as well. But again, I hope you guys have a nice day. Bye!